Nobody spoke. Not the engineers. Not the reporters. Not even the camera crews. Because the number on the screen didn't make sense. People blinked, checked again, whispered to each other. Is that missing a zero? That can't be right. That's cheaper than a basic sedan. Voiceover, slow, deliberate. They expected 6 figures. Maybe luxury pricing. Maybe exclusivity. Maybe something only the rich could touch. But Maxwell had done the opposite. He didn't design a dream car for millionaires. He designed a dream car for everyone. Cut to faces in the crowd. A young student filming. A taxi driver staring wide-eyed. A mechanic leaning closer. A mother whispering to her son. For the first time, this wasn't admiration. It was possibility. Because suddenly people weren't saying, "Nice car." They were saying, "I could own this." And that's when industries start to panic. Cut hard. Corporate boardroom. Glass walls. Executives watching leaked footage on a laptop. Replaying the reveal. Replaying the price. Replaying the crowd's reaction. Over. And over. And over. Executive voice muffled. If this is real, we have a problem. Because the rules were being broken. You're not supposed to have luxury design, high performance, advanced tech, self-sustaining energy systems at an affordable price. That combination isn't allowed. Not in the old system. But Maxwell didn't grow up inside that system. So he never followed its limits. Back to the workshop. Night again. Rain tapping softly on the metal roof. The team gathered around schematics, battery modules, lightweight composites, locally sourced materials, simple manufacturing steps. Every decision calculated. Every gram reduced. Every wire optimized. Voiceover. While other companies added cost, Maxwell removed complexity. While others chased luxury badges, he chased efficiency. While they built cars to impress investors, he built cars to serve people. Close up. Door panel clipped into place in seconds. Modular battery pack sliding out like a drawer. Dashboard assembled like a smartphone. Smart. Replaceable. Reparable. No expensive proprietary nonsense. This wasn't just a car. It was engineered like a tool. Like something meant to last. Test drivers start arriving. Not celebrities. Not influencers. Real people. Delivery drivers. Teachers. Young entrepreneurs. They sit inside. And every single one says the same thing without rehearsing it. It feels expensive. Soft seats. Minimalist dash. Silent cabin. Panoramic glass reflecting the sky. It feels like something from 2035. But it's here. Now. The first full-speed run happens at sunrise. Camera low to the ground. Dust lifting behind the tires. Electric torque snapping instantly. The car slices through the air like it was designed by the wind itself. No roar. Just a whisper. Like the future passing you quietly. Engineers checking telemetry. Eyes widening. Efficiency numbers climbing. Range estimates stretching further than predicted. Less energy. More distance. Again. And again. And again. Maxwell doesn't celebrate. He just nods once. Like he expected it. Like this was always the plan. But then something bigger starts happening. Not in the lab. Not on the track. Outside. In the real world. Orders start coming in. First dozens. Then hundreds. Then thousands. From places nobody targeted. Small towns. Developing cities. Young families. People who had never even considered buying a high-tech car before. And suddenly, the dream car isn't rare anymore. It's spreading. Street by street. City by city. Country by country. Like a quiet uprising on 4 wheels. And Maxwell realizes something terrifying and exciting at the same time. Because now, it's no longer just a prototype. It's no longer just a statement. It's becoming a movement. And movements can't be controlled. Across the ocean, a major automaker schedules an emergency meeting. Another announces a surprise redesign. Stock prices flicker. Analysts start using one name in their reports. Over and over. Maxwell. Maxwell, Maxwell, and standing alone in the workshop doorway, watching trucks load the very first production units, he finally allows himself a small smile. Because this was never about building the most beautiful car. It was about proving something bigger, that the future doesn't need permission. And what he's about to reveal next, the next upgrade, the next feature hidden inside version 2, is going to make this first model look simple. And when people discover what the car can do without ever plugging in, everything changes again. At first, nobody notices, because it sounds impossible, too crazy, too sci-fi. Voiceover, quiet, almost whispering. Range, unlimited. Engineers hate that word. Unlimited doesn't exist in physics. Everything drains. Everything stops. Everything needs refueling. That's the rule the world has followed for 200 years. Steam, gasoline, diesel, lithium batteries. Energy in, energy out, then empty. But Maxwell? He wasn't trying to stretch the rule. He was trying to erase it.
Cut to inside the chassis.
Panels removed. Hidden layers revealed. Not just a battery pack. Not just a motor. Something else. A compact module.
Sealed.
Quiet. Constantly working. Not flashy. Not glowing. Just steady. Like a heartbeat. Voiceover. While the world focused on bigger batteries, Maxwell focused on smarter energy. Energy recovery. Regeneration. Microconversion. Efficiency stacked on efficiency stacked on efficiency. Tiny gains, but hundreds of them, all working together. The car isn't just storing power. It's harvesting. Every vibration. Every roll. Every brake. Every heat cycle. Nothing wasted. Everything reused. So instead of draining fast, it sips. Instead of losing energy, it recycles.
Test day.
Long highway stretch. Cameras mounted. Data screens recording everything. The car leaves at sunrise. 100 kilometers. Battery barely moves. 200 kilometers. Still steady. Engineers checking instruments twice. Maybe the sensors are broken. Maybe the software's wrong. But the numbers don't lie. Consumption is ridiculously low. Lower than anything they've ever seen. Driver over radio. You guys sure this thing is reading right? Nervous laughter. Nobody answers. Because nobody understands it yet. By sunset, the car returns. Same charge level. Same performance. Same silence. And that's when the room changes. This isn't just good efficiency. This isn't slightly better range. This is category breaking. Because suddenly, charging stations aren't urgent anymore. Range anxiety disappears. Fuel stops become optional. For the first time in automotive history, driving feels free. Cut to a rural road. A farmer using the car all day. No plug. No charger. Just movement. Sun up to sundown. Still running. Cut to a taxi driver. City traffic. Stop.
Go.
Stop.
Go.
Regeneration feeding the system constantly. He finishes a 12-hour shift
With more energy than he started with.
He stares at the dashboard, confused, then laughs. Because nobody has ever seen a car that behaves like this. And now, news starts leaking. Clips go viral. Self-sustaining EV? Is this fake? Perpetual motion car? Zimbabwe breakthrough shocks engineers. Tech blogs arguing. Scientists debating. Comment sections exploding. Some calling it genius. Some calling it impossible. Some calling it a threat. But customers? They don't care about arguments. They care about one thing. Does it work?
And it does.
Every single day. On real roads. With real people. Orders don't just rise now. They surge. Factories can't keep up. Suppliers scrambling. Phones ringing nonstop. Dealers asking for inventory. Countries asking for partnerships. Because this isn't just a car anymore. It's independence. From fuel. From charging grids. From rising energy prices. Maxwell stands outside the factory gates one evening. watching the first export truck roll out. Cars loaded,
Wrapped.
headed for the port, headed for the world. He runs his hand across the hood of one. Quiet moment. No cameras. No speeches. Just reflection. Years of rejection. Years of doubt. Years of people saying, "It can't be done here." And now, it's leaving here. Changing everything. But what nobody realizes yet, what even the buyers don't know, is that this vehicle was only phase one. Because hidden in the next prototype, parked under cover in the back of the lab, is something even more radical. Not just a car that barely needs energy, but a machine that can power homes, power tools, power entire neighborhoods. And when Maxwell decides to reveal that version, the auto industry won't just be disrupted. It might never look the same again. And the day he flips that switch for the first public demonstration, but the setup feels different. Too quiet. No flashy banners. No dramatic stage lights. No giant marketing slogans. Just an empty concrete lot outside the factory. A few folding tables.
Cables. Tools.
And that same covered vehicle. Waiting. Voiceover, low, steady. Sometimes the biggest revolutions don't look impressive at first. Reporters whisper, "Where's the charger? Where's the generator? Where's the power source?" There isn't one. Maxwell walks forward calmly. No suit. No bodyguards. Just a simple jacket, like any engineer coming to work. He doesn't give a long speech. Doesn't hype it up. Just one sentence. If a car can move, it can create energy. People exchange confused looks. The cover comes off. Slow. Fabric sliding down metal. It looks familiar, but tougher. Slightly bigger. More angular. Like the first model evolved into something industrial. A mobile power station disguised as a vehicle. Ports along the side. Outlets. Panels. Connectors. Things you don't normally see on a car. He opens the rear compartment. Instead of luggage space, there's a compact power distribution system. Inverters. Controllers. Battery modules. All integrated like it was meant to be there from day one. Voiceover. This isn't just transportation anymore. It's infrastructure. An engineer wheels out a welding machine. Heavy. Industrial. The kind that normally needs a loud diesel generator. He plugs it directly into the car.
Click.
Everyone waits. The welder sparks to life instantly. Bright blue flashes. Metal screaming. Full power. No hesitation. No drop. Murmurs spread. Next. Floodlights. Construction tools. Air compressors. All plugged in. All running. At the same time. Still silent. The car just sits there, like it's bored. Dashboard screen shows energy flow. Input. Output. Recovery. Balancing itself in real time. Instead of draining fast, it stabilizes. Optimizes.
Adapts.
Like a smart grid on wheels. Voiceover. While others built cars that only consume, Maxwell built one that contributes. Then comes the moment nobody expected. A small prefab house nearby. Lights off.
Dark.
Disconnected. A single thick cable runs from the vehicle into the home.
Click.
Lights turn on.
Fans spin.
Refrigerator hums. TV flickers to life. Everything powered by the car.
Gasps.
Actual gasps. Because now it's not about convenience. It's survival. Imagine villages without stable grids. Disaster zones. Blackouts. Remote farms. Construction sites. One vehicle becomes electricity for everything. A car that drives kids to school in the morning and powers the house at night. That's not a luxury product. That's life-changing technology. Cut to reporters frantically calling editors. Phones out. Live streams starting. Headlines being typed in real time. Car that powers homes. Zimbabwe engineer builds mobile energy plant. This could replace generators forever. Meanwhile, Maxwell? Still calm. Still quiet. Like this was obvious all along. Because to him, it was never about building the prettiest car. Or the fastest. Or the most expensive. It was about one question he kept asking for years. What if a vehicle didn't just take from the world? What if it gave something back? Sun starts setting. Orange light hitting the metal body. The car glowing like something from the future. Half transportation. Half power station. Fully independent. And that's when the realization spreads through the crowd slowly, heavily, like gravity. If every car could do this, cities change.
Homes change.
Energy changes. Everything changes. Because suddenly, the grid isn't the center anymore.
People are.
In the back of the lot. Under another tarp, there's yet another shape. Longer. Lower. Even more aggressive. Cables thicker. Systems bigger. Something clearly not meant for just one house, but something capable of powering an entire block, maybe more. Maxwell glances at it for a second. Just 1 second. Then looks away. Like it's not time yet. Like the world isn't ready. But when that one rolls out, when that machine leaves the lab, when entire neighborhoods realize they don't need traditional infrastructure anymore, that's when this stops being an automotive story and becomes an energy revolution. And the first night they test it, when the whole street goes dark on purpose, and only Maxwell's machine brings the lights back. The entire street is black. Pitch black. No streetlights. No house lights. No shop signs. Just silhouettes. And the quiet hum of night air.
Kids stop playing.
People step outside their doors. Phones come out for light. Confused voices. Power cut. Grid failure. Transformer blown. It feels familiar. Too familiar. The kind of darkness millions of people live with every week. Then, Maxwell raises his hand. Just one small signal. An engineer flips a switch on the vehicle. Not dramatic. Just a soft click. For half a heartbeat, nothing. Then suddenly, one house lights up. Then another. Then another. Like dominoes. Streetlights flicker back to life. Windows glow warm yellow. Fans start spinning. Music starts playing somewhere. A refrigerator kicks on. A baby laughs. The whole block, alive again. Powered by one machine. No diesel smoke. No roaring generator. No tangled wires. Just clean, silent energy. Voiceover, slow, emotional. Not louder. Not bigger. Just smarter. Camera pulls up into the sky. Drone shot. One bright street. Surrounded by darkness. Like a glowing island. And parked at the center. That vehicle.
Small. Still.
Almost humble. But doing what entire power stations normally do. That's the moment it hits everyone watching. Not just the engineers. Not just the reporters. Regular people. Families. Workers. This isn't a luxury invention. It's freedom. Because when power becomes mobile, control changes hands. No waiting for the grid. No waiting for repairs. No waiting for permission. You generate your own future. Cut to faces. Old man smiling quietly. Kids staring like it's magic. Shop owner reopening his shutter. Phone charging again. Life continuing. And Maxwell? He doesn't celebrate. He doesn't make a speech. He just watches. Hands in pockets. Studying the lights. Like a scientist confirming an equation. Because in his mind, this was never a wow moment. It was a why not moment. Voiceover. Why can't a car power a house? Why can't technology be affordable? Why can't world-class machines be built here? Who decided those limits? Nobody answers. Because there was never a real reason. Only doubt. Montage begins. Fast cuts. Factories expanding. New assembly lines. Local workers training. Robots welding frames. Young engineers learning. Blueprints stacking up. Ports shipping vehicles overseas. Orders from other countries. Partnership calls. Governments interested. Energy companies nervous. Very nervous. Because when one invention can replace generators, fuel deliveries, charging stations, backup systems. Entire industries feel the ground shake. But for Maxwell, it's simpler than that. Cut to his notebook. Old pages. Sketches from years ago. Messy drawings. Crazy ideas scribbled in pen. Self-powered mobility. Car equals energy source. Independent systems. Dates from years back. This wasn't sudden. This wasn't luck. This was obsession. Years of failing. Burned circuits. Dead prototypes. Empty bank accounts. People saying, "Stop. Be realistic. Just copy what works."
But he didn't copy.
He built. And now, as the camera slowly circles that glowing street one last time, the message becomes clear. This story isn't really about one man, or one car, or one country. It's about what happens when someone refuses to accept that innovation belongs somewhere else. Because the future doesn't ask for permission. It gets built. Quietly. Patiently. Then suddenly. All at once. And somewhere in that factory, another cover is already coming off. Another machine already humming. Another idea already breaking the rules. And if this one changed a street, the next one might change a city. And if it changes a city, who knows what happens next? Because this revolution is only just beginning. But here's the thing about revolutions. They don't always explode. Sometimes they hum. Quietly. Like an electric motor in the night. The camera slowly drifts back through the factory one last time. Machines still running. Robotic arms welding sparks into the dark. Frames moving down the line. Workers focused. Screens glowing blue. Not chaos. Not hype. Just progress.
Steady.
Relentless. Unstoppable. Voiceover. Calm. Reflective. While the world was arguing about the future, Maxwell was already building it.
Cut to
A farmer driving at sunrise. A taxi gliding through the city. A family plugging their home into the car at night. Students charging laptops. Lights turning on. Life moving forward. No one thinking about fuel. No one searching for a charger. No one waiting for the grid. Because when technology disappears into daily life, that's when you know it truly works. And maybe that's the real breakthrough. Not speed. Not power. Not headlines. But freedom. Freedom to move. Freedom to build. Freedom to power your own world. The camera finds Maxwell one last time. Standing alone on the factory floor. Blueprint in hand.
studying.
Planning. Already working on the next idea. Because to innovators like him, there is no finish line. Only the next problem to solve.
Lights dim.
Machines slow. Night settles. But one car remains parked outside, silhouetted under a streetlight. Quiet. Charging itself. Waiting for morning. Voiceover. Final line. Soft but powerful. Some people wait for the future. Others build it. Fade to black. Soft electric hum continues for 2 seconds. Then silence.